And good morning, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, and whoever else you feel like being this morning. Welcome to the Olympian Podcast. How you doing this morning, James?
I am well. You said whatever you feel like being this morning?
Whatever you feel like being.
I feel like being a tall,
whether you're a
slender
male,
gentleman.
whether you're a female, whether you're an it, whether you don't know which bathroom to walk in, whatever you want to be.
Hey,
I don't mind.
It's interesting that we even have to say that these days, but hey, it is what it is. But I am a male. I would like to feel like a slender and in shape male, but
I would like you to be a slender.
I would have to deal with what I got. You know, it's so good. You know, we got to work with what we got, man. That's all I can do. But it's Wednesday. We're here on the Olympian Table to talk about whatever's on our minds, hearts regarding finance, investments, real estate, and everything else that's out there in the world. So what are we talking about this morning, man?
Well, being a previous Olympian, I wanted to bring up this debacle.
Look at you using SAT words. Come on.
About Camilla Valieva
What?
using a cocktail. What she did, apparently, she used a heart-enhancing drug to enhance her performance, and she won the gold. I mean, she's quite an athlete.
Who is this person? This name, you said a whole lot right there. Who is Camilla Valieva?
She was She was a gold medal contender in the Olympics.
Okay.
I personally don't feel the Olympics. I don't feel that Russia should even be in the Olympics. Technically, they're not, because what they're competing as is the Russian Olympic skaters and athletes, because Russia got banned from cheating and have been proven to be cheating over years. So what's the term? Get around.
Kind of circumvent the process, right?
To get away from the penalties. That's what they've done now. They've entered as they're not allowed to put Russian flags. They're not, and I think it's wrong. If they're banned, they should be banned. But what's basically happened is Camilla Valieva, who had won the gold medal, had a drug test, and they found out that there was a drug that basically is used for heart trouble, and the International Olympic Committee, in their ultimate wisdom, have decided to basically, in effect, cancel the whole event. So the person that's first, second, and third are not going to get.
Because she was caught doping.
Yeah, and they haven't got the balls, basically, to turn around and say, cheated. To me, the second one should get the gold medal, the third one should get the silver medal, the fourth one should get the bronze medal. End of story. I think it's so wrong. To me, it's honestly a case of the International Olympic Committee, I think, is scared of Russia. Always have been, always will be. Russia have always cheated. Especially in the sports world, I can tell you that, because I've been there myself, been there, done it, and seen it.
Do you think if a team, or let's just a country, is caught cheating, that they should ever be even invited back to the games?
I do. I think Russia is such a society where people really don't have much. It's either do it
or die.
Well, no, not die, but just you're not going to be in the team.
Right.
I'll give you an example. In the 80s, one of the, and people can on this podcast can judge whether they think this is cheating. I think it's immoral. But one of the things they used to do was with the pair skater was, if you remember in the 80s, used to have these big hunky, male figure skaters in the pair skater, and then this little tiny girl.
Yeah.
And they would throw this poor little girl 20 feet, 30 feet on ice, traveling 40 maybe 30 mile an hour, 40 mile an hour. But what they used to do was part of the protocol, what they used. And I only know this because at the time I did have some Russian friends who shared a few things. And the Eastern Bloc countries, what they used to do was do different things biologically that would delay the female hormones, so the girls wouldn't get bigger. The girls wouldn't start menstruation, so their hips wouldn't get bigger, their boobies wouldn't get bigger, and all the other things. And some of the girls, Russian girls, they didn't start menstruating until they were 19 or 20. Now, don't ask me how I know that. We won't even go there.
Well, I don't want to know. I don't want to have to testify against you.
What I will tell you is that's they're not. I don't think they're an ethical country. They've got some fantastic sports people, and they've got some incredible skaters. And personally, I don't see why the heck they should go and have to, do all this manipulation and cheating. The people that I feel sorry for are the other skaters, second, fourth.
Right.
And even the people that finished 12th and 13th, it's still not right. Because if they went by the rules, To me, it's a little bit like having a soccer game and saying, well, I'll tell you what, that's the size of your goal. But I've got a goal the other end of the stadium. And that's going to be 3 times as big. Who do you think's going to score more goals?
That's true.
I'm very strong into drug testing. Even we did drug testing. We did, 1, 2, and 3 would always do drug testing. And then they would do random drug testing for the remainder. So we'd all draw straws to go pee in a cup.
I don't know if you remember this, but and I only know this because there was a documentary about it on, I think it was Netflix. But in 2002, when the Olympic Games were in Salt Lake City, Russia was involved in a judge, basically like the judges were persuaded or something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
And they awarded there was a couple from Canada, and then there was the couple, of course, from Russia. The couple from Canada skated a flawless. I mean, it was, I was even impressed, and I'm not even into ice skating, but it was a flawless performance that they put on. The Russian couple, they did their skate and their performance, and I think the guy either dropped the girl or she fell down or whatever the case was. And they gave Russia the gold medal. Because once the Canadian couple finished, the crowd went crazy. It was like, everybody's all, because they was kind of like, oh, it's solidified. It's a wrap. So long story short, fast forward to, they ended up giving the Canadians the silver. Russia got the gold. Well, once they found out that these judges had been persuaded, I want to say it was a French judge and somebody else, but nevertheless, they had basically been paid to, pad the scoring card or whatever the case is. You know what their solution was? They gave them both gold medals. So it kind of, it kind of mirrors this. It's like, okay, Russia doesn't get penalized. They don't care about this this Olympic medal ceremony. Do we get the gold or don't we get the gold? So be it. We make it happen. But they didn't take away their gold. They just gave the Canadian team a gold medal as well, which, I mean, it's cool. They got it, but it's one of those things.
Not the same thing.
It's not the same.
Doesn't mean the same.
It's not the same at all. So I don't know. It just kind of rings very familiar, and that was 2002. I don't know. I feel like if you've been caught cheating, I won't say a lifetime ban, but if it's multiple times cheating, you gotta be, the first time, okay, cool, we get you, but if it's multiple times, you gotta go, because you take away the essence of the game.
I personally feel there is more of a pain if the IOC would put, I mean, we're talking a high-end money fine on the organization.
Like, how big would you say?
I'm talking
millions.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking big bucks.
Yeah.
5 million, 10 million.
Because it's not fair.
And on here, I was just reading Valieva, I can never say her last name. Valieva declared on a doping control form that she was taking hypoxin and L-carn. Now, according to a document posted by the Dossier Center from the World Anti-Doping Agency, these two substances are banned by the WADA, that can be used to treat heart issues. Now, part of a good coach, a lot of these skaters now from the high-end countries, they have nutritionists. That should be part of, they're competing at such a high level that they should know what they can and what they can't take. Whole medication, all the way through. But to me, it's no excuse.
It is.
That's just, my feeling on it. It might be a little bit over the top for some people.
No, I don't think it is.
She's a wonderful skater. I don't think she's my ideal skater, to be perfectly honest. You know, I think the best skater of all time has got to be Michelle Kwan, and Christy Yamaguchi.
Oh yeah.
But anyway,
I don't disagree with you. So since we're still in that vein, put that link I just put up on the screen. So let's go back just a little while ago about a young lady. It's in a link submission in Discord. The young lady by the name of Sha'Carri Richardson. We talked about her on this show. She was the track star from Dallas that, you know, beat out everybody to go to the Olympic trials, whatever, blah, 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 and ended up getting disqualified from going on because she smoked marijuana, a banned substance, right? Makes me wonder,
double standards.
what's the difference? What is the difference in Sha'Carri Richardson doing the same thing? I mean, bad decision, you know, marijuana is illegal actually in some of these places. The drug, or the heart drug that the girl took, is legal in some places. But when it comes to the Olympics, it is a banned substance. And I don't understand, for me, how
there's no consistency, is it?
it's not. It is not. And of course, you know, I don't like taking it there. But if you look at this picture of this young lady, and you look at the picture of
Russian, is that what
she's not Russian. Yeah, exactly. I'll just leave that there. If you keep picking up what I'm putting down, I don't know, Olympics. I don't know, the IOC. That's not a fair thing for me. So,
but it says it all there on the screen.
It does.
The unfair Olympics, staggering amount of incompetence running the games. And it's not so much running the games, but it's basically administering
and enforcing the rules that are for everybody.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just it's not. There might be more details that we find out, you know, in the comparison. But I would just say, for the optics, it just looks like, this little girl, she got a chance to do her thing, and still is there.
Yeah. Well, one of the biggest consequences regarding the female figure skater was Karen Chen had dreamt of, of the moment. She'd watched it for over the years at various Olympics and across various sports. She'd been seen athletes ascend to podiums in silk tracksuits with the pride on their faces and teammates by their sides. She craved it, and she earned it last week. When
that's a silver medalist.
And that's and she's from the US. And basically now she's not going to get that medal.
Well, she got it. They're just not going to.
And it says here she'll get a medal. It might be silver. It might be gold. The color will depend on a resolution in the Kamila Valieva case. But with that resolution likely months away, the IOC Executive Board decided Monday to withhold medals until Valieva is either cleared or convicted, and Russian either crowned or disqualified.
Wow. I say if there's any gray area, give it to the next person. That's just, it's like, come on, man. Come back and fix it later on that. Call the penalty now.
Perhaps what they should do is take the photos of everybody and then issue the photos
at a later time
when they make a decision. Especially with Photoshop, they can do that.
It's different. I know the crowds are limited there, but it's just different, man. Getting your medal when you're supposed to get it up on the podium, hearing them play the national anthem, and all that stuff.
When this COVID stuff came, didn't we?
Of course.
And you said part of the kick is performing in front of all them people, and performing on TV, so all your buddies go down the pub with, can see you and say, I know him. He can drink 6 pints on a night.
Oh man, that's some drinking. We want some testimonies.
She was, you're a cheater, and this
I
is what
hadn't heard
happens to
about
cheaters.
that.
Oh, it happened during the Rio Olympics.
Yeah, I hadn't heard about that.
Yeah, so there's some winning stories from it sometimes, but yeah.
And my point is just, man, I mean, how many DUIs can you get before they lock you up?
Well,
I mean, you're gonna go to jail for a long time if they catch
at
you.
this, my argument is at this level, you should know. At this level, you should know what drugs you can take, what drugs you can't take.
Exactly.
You know, you're competing, you're training every day. I mean, you're training 6 to 8 hours a day. It just doesn't make sense to me.
And that was the argument that we were making.
And that's my argument to say why
Right.
she should be banned.
Because she
is because, well, even if she didn't know, she should have known competing at this level what is allowed and what isn't allowed. If not, she's been when you're skating at an Olympics, it's not just you and the coach.
Right.
There's a group of people around the back of you doing different things. Nutritionists, you know, it's like a little a mini soccer team.
Right.
You know, nutritionists, a
Probably
wellness coach,
probably a
believe it or
strength
not.
coach or somebody.
A strength
like that, yeah.
coach, and there's so many different parts to how you get there. You know, choreographer, different. So there's so much more information available that you should have. If that's the case, her team have let her down, and sorry, babe, but you shouldn't even be in the Olympics anyway, in my opinion. Russia should not be in the Olympics. They was caught cheating, and now they're caught cheating again.
Again.
How many times do you want to be caught?
Yeah. I'm with you on that one, bro. I'm with you on
It's like
that
when
one.
I was 21, I got caught speeding down the same street 3 times. I decided after that, perhaps I was to slow down on that
Well,
street.
you are a bit of a hard head, so.
But
you
the
know.
truth of the matter is, I mean, it shouldn't be that. Oh, believe you me, the court got their money.
Someone just has to make a call, make a decision, and they're not. That's the bottom line. They're not making a decision.
All this proves at the end of the day, it's politics.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's all this proves to everybody. And
Politics
how
will-
can people get really engaged in it when they feel that politics is in the background? And another, just a real quick shout out to Shaun White. You know, he got it to his 4th Olympics. And his half pike.
Did he?
Yeah, he got halfway down the pike, but that's just an achievement. And he's so incredible. 4 Olympics.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's just a legend. There's no shame in what he did. I mean, to even get to that point, 4 Olympics is just amazing.
It is. That's a lot. That is a lot.
Shout
sir.
out to Shaun White. So what else we got on the pod?
Man, let's see what we got here. Well, I think I pulled up this one about the hockey, since we're talking about the Olympics, about the hockey team. Team USA are out of the Winter Games for hockey. I think that what they said is that it was in the last 46 seconds or so, and they went to penalty shots and they ended up losing in the quarterfinals. So no Americans. We were eliminated, losing to Slovakia. I think, is that how you say it? Yeah, Slovakia in a shootout. So it is what it is, man. For all of you hockey fans, there will be no Americans beyond the quarterfinals. And I think we have a pretty good presence in hockey. Is there a good presence for hockey over in the UK?
About the 3rd level.
3rd level?
Yeah, they never make Olympics. They very rarely make the World Championships. They're getting better. There's a lot of Canadians and Americans now in the English league over there.
I know they do a lot of the
thing I can't understand about hockey though is tribal. I mean, people just go to the game for a fight.
I think that's kind of the draw for some folks.
All they do is go. I mean, there are. You know, I collect sports memorabilia.
Right.
Right.
All over.
Signed shirts, soccer shirts, and everything else. There are photos of 2 people fighting that you can buy. All right. And they both signed it. So there's a famous fight, for example.
Here's the thing about the hockey, and I don't think it holds true for every single person there, but they have so much gear and they're padded up so much. They look like big guys, right? But when you see them on the street, you're like, oh, that's the one that was beating this guy's head in. You know, it's I don't know, and they just let him go. They let him go back and forth sometimes.
Well, I guess the point where the ref just says, "Okay, gloves off.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go at it," and then when you beat one another up and you smack one another up, then I'll stop it and then I'll put you in the box. But I mean, I say to everybody, with American football and also with hockey, with all the pads and everything, go play rugby.
Oh,
Go play rugby.
so interesting you say that because we got the rugby team here, and they built the new rugby stadium over there off of 288. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
So there is a rugby team, the Houston. What are they called?
If you want a tough game that's to the bone, all you've got is something to protect your man parts, and that's it. There's no padding. There's no nothing.
The Sabercats. I think that's what they're called. Yeah, the Houston Sabercats.
I'll pop down and see him.
You're right off of 288 and right after E Road or whatever. You can actually see it from the freeway. See the big, in rugby, whatever. And I told myself I was going to go to a rugby game.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'm with it.
Let's go.
We can go. And I think it'll be fun to just kind of check it out, see what they're about. And rugby is you got when you talk about the All Blacks, right? They're probably they're one of the most notable teams that I can remember seeing just because of the antics or whatever they put on. But I don't know.
The All Black,
All Blacks are they're
and they do their little dance before they go.
Exactly. It's impressive. I like it. That's why it's stuck in my mind.
It's legendary. I mean, that's really what it is.
So if you don't know, check out the All Blacks, and that's not talking about a room full of people that look like me. This is a team that is over in the UK. So check out the All Blacks.
No, the All Blacks are in New Zealand.
I'm sorry, the New Zealand. That's right, New Zealand, and the Houston Sabercats. All Blacks, Houston Sabercats. Rugby. Let's make rugby normal. How about that? How about we do that? Their game. Well, I think they had a game. Was it last week? Or last? But it's time right now for rugby.
Yeah.
Anywho.
So what we got next?
Oh man. Did you hear? I don't know if wasn't aware of how big it had gotten. I heard about it, but Canada's like a mess right now. Ottawa specifically. The trucker strikes or protests or whatever's going on. So the latest that I have heard is that Justin Trudeau has allowed or given permission to the banks to freeze the funds on some of these truckers, basically kind of choke out the protest.
He's using some type of emergency act.
What kind of dictator, overreaching foolishness is that?
Well, I think it's just a case. I really think it's a case of politicians overstepping. I think politicians forget who they represent.
They do. That's the problem. They truly forget that.
And at the end of the day, you can't please everybody, but you can please some of the people some of the time. But the truth of the matter is, I think, politicians as a whole forget who they represent. What they're saying, I don't know if I necessarily represent. I don't know if I agree with the actions they're taking, but how else do they get noticed?
Right.
To put their point across. No. And what is it just about wearing masks?
About wearing masks, man. Yes.
Really?
About wearing masks. And if you think about
it's happening now. It's happening now all over the world.
It is. And don't get me wrong. Wearing a mask, if someone has that mandate in their facility, I comply. Like, okay, it's not that difficult.
I went somewhere the other day and I forgot to have a mask and I got shouted at.
But the fact remains, truckers are in their truck most of the time by themselves, driving alone. Wear a freaking mask. Great if they don't want to hear. All I know is I got some shoes that I ordered and they need to get to where they need to get to, and I hope they're not on one of those trucks.
It's a bit self-centered, James.
It is, but man, let these guys live. You know what I'm saying? Let them make their money.
As if we haven't got enough problems with logistics at the moment.
We don't need anything adding to the backup with anything being shipped. It's ridiculous. And I think this point, I think they started this thinking, it's only going to go for a little while. But I think we're a couple of weeks into this protest. And some of these guys, truckers live in their trucks. So they're like, I saw one guy, he said, man, I got a month's worth of food in there. So they're not playing.
Well, the milk's going to end up as cheese.
Well, who knows? Who knows? But it's an unfortunate thing.
Is cheese worth more than milk?
I think it is.
Perhaps it's a monetary thing.
I think it is.
Perhaps the trucker's just doing it because that way it makes more.
Possibly. But the bank account thing, I think, that's an overreach for sure. Can you imagine someone trying to force you to do something? They just freeze all your accounts and say, hey.
That's not a nice thing. That's not a nice thing for you to say about my wife.
Well, man, if she does it and you're not behaving, you might have deserved it. So
absolutely.
But it is an overreach for Canada there. And I know Justin Trudeau's had some issues, things in the past, but.
Is his dad still with us?
I thought he had passed. Okay. I don't know if it's certain, though.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's certain. But for those of you that don't know, look up the, what's it called? The Freedom Convoy? I think is what they're calling it.
I thought they called it off at one point, but then it seems to have steamed up again.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think it totally died. But they are protesting in Canada, and under those temporary measures, he has
put their efforts into getting people vaccinated. That's really what needs to happen. They need to put their efforts into getting people vaccinated, and
that's where the money should go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give an option to get vaccinated if you want to get vaccinated, or whatever it is down the line. So
anyway, let's move on. Do you see the article I put about 23% of Americans are saving for a house in 2022?
No, didn't.
You didn't see the article?
I didn't see that one.
23% of Americans are saving for a house in 2022. Here's where to put that money.
So basically 1 in 4. Think that number's low?
I do.
That's surprising.
I do, because the amount of times that people come into our office or they contact us through social media at C21 Olympian TX, and they ask for information about purchasing a home. And if you go into our social media, we've actually got some short videos, some cartoon videos, which might help you, especially for first-time home buyers. But it's just interesting to see that number.
Yeah,
and I want to ask them two people.
Oh yeah, they're in that younger crew. So I think
if you were saving for a new house at the moment, after you've paid all your student debt off and all the other stuff that goes with it, how would you save your money? Because cash is going down in value, or everybody's. If you was saving, if you had a little bit of money to put aside.
I would put it in a saving.
At a bank?
At a bank, yeah. Until I figured out a better way to
Shame
save
on you,
it.
Jacob. How long have you been sitting on this freaking podcast?
I know. That's the wrong answer, but
no, there's no wrong answer. It's your money.
It is your money.
I know I won't be getting a lot of interest in it. It won't necessarily grow, and I won't get much out of it. But yeah, so that's the way I would do it.
He's just a no-risk person. He's like my dad. Dad was that.
Low risk. It is low risk for sure.
How about you have
low risk, low reward?
Well, actually, mine is kind of similar way, but I actually have 4 different bank accounts. For different banks, so that way the interest is either higher for one bank but lower for one, but I get benefits from all 4 banks.
So basically, what you're telling us is that you chose wrong 4 times.
Oh, indeed, I am.
That's what it sounds like.
But I am in my early 20s. I make dumb mistakes all the time.
We'll forgive you for that. We'll give you a pass for that. But banks are for transactions.
Because
that's what they are.
And one of the reasons why I wanted to get onto this was between all 4 of us here now. Today, just to let everybody know, we've got Everett, who's going to be doing our behind the scenes podcast in the future, and Jacob's decided to go and work for another organisation You know,
Yeah, to kick us to
the
the
best
curb.
of luck to you. He's kicked us to the curb.
Yeah.
But he's going to work for the Astros, so go Astros. They better bloody win now because you've got our
Maybe
podcast going.
Maybe we'll see him on Fox or something. You know how they come and come.
No,
and shoot
see him on a real news station.
Really?
Yeah, perhaps CNN.
Don't be a hater.
Yeah.
In retrospect, when I first met Jacob, I actually asked me if he could asked him if I could actually get a couple of free tickets to the Astros game. I mean, it was
great
a new.
idea. There you go.
My family is pretty clean.
Oh no! What do you mean? What? We're not family now.
We're nothing.
Anyway,
We're nothing.
so let's get
I
back.
think I have a special bond with
Just
you.
hit me up and then we'll work something out.
yeah.
How about that?
All right.
We'll work
All right.
something out.
So let's get back. 23% of Americans are saving for a house in 2022. If you were saving for a house, what would you use to save for a house? Because here's my question. Everybody tells you to do dollar cost averaging, right? I've got one account, I'll be honest with you, with Robinhood, and I do dollar cost averaging. I buy X amount of dollars per week of crypto and Bitcoin. And I've got another one through Ace, which I buy low, I sell high, I keep it in cash, come down, I buy more. Indirectly, what I end up doing is I end up building up the amount. They're both long-term strategies as far as I'm concerned, not in there to take the cash out. So if I was honestly saving for a house at the moment, what would you do? Would you, perhaps rather than put your money in the bank, would you open up a stock account? Everybody says that the stocks are going to drop 20%. I don't think that's the case. But people say that the crash is coming 20% down. Or would you buy Bitcoin? And Bitcoin is becoming more and more acceptable. Well, not Bitcoin, but cryptocurrencies are becoming more and more acceptable. I mean, I've had more plus interest rates on my Bitcoin than I've ever had bank recently. Only because I've staked some of it as well. So if you were saving for a house, I really think it's getting to the point now where the circle's turning, especially for the younger folks. Get out there and buy, even if it's $25 worth of crypto. $50
So you're
of
saying
crypto.
put it in crypto?
I am.
Okay. I don't agree with that. Not for a house down payment. If I am specifically saving for a house or a down payment, I would have to lean with the fellas with the lower risk here and go with a savings account.
But that's because you
hold
want
on.
it seasoned.
Hold on, because no, it has nothing to do with seasoning. If it's for a down payment, the last thing you want to do, think about it. A few months ago, Bitcoin was at $60 some odd thousand. Now it's in the 40s. So if you had put all your money, let's say, in the Bitcoin, you would have lost at this point. The savings account won't give you a large return, but if you're truly looking to save money, the last thing you want to do for the down payment specifically, the last thing you want to do is put in, let's say 20 grand, and then when you go back to it, now it's only 15. So the savings account specifically, hear me out, for the savings for the down payment would be the less riskier option and probably be the best path. So I'd have to go with these guys on that part of it. Long term, dumpster fire, don't do it. Okay. But for a down payment on a house, I think it would be better to put it, or CD. You could even do a CDs. Maybe sometime have a little bit higher than a savings account, but it'll be short term. So hey, I'm going to save for the year, put it in a short term CD, get that yield you got, and then pull it out and use it for the house. That's my thought on it.
But now at the moment, I think cryptos are a great buy. I think they're a good value.
I don't disagree with you there.
Algorand yesterday was up, in one day it was up 2.7%. Bitcoin was down 1.28%. But I mean, there's some coins out there at the moment and tokens that I really feel, and I do feel that hopefully Bitcoin will go up.
Oh, I think
But
it will.
but if I was say I was looking at buying a house in 6 months' time, 9 months' time,
I wouldn't put it in any crypto. Yeah, it's just it can be too volatile at times.
How about putting it into dollar cost averaging? I think dollar cost averaging is good with index funds, mutual funds.
But for the long
Because-
game, right?
Yeah, but I've actually made a couple of pennies over 12 months on it.
Right, but
But
you're
I
not
had
looking
to
to
pull,
pull
but
that
I,
out.
but I
though.
had to pull the money out because of business, or
Sure.
I needed the cash for the business, keep it, to keep it running at times or something. But that's just the way business is.
But I just don't the risk with the down payment. I don't think that's a smart move.
And and
with it.
I think the best index, because of the fees are so low, one of the biggest that's out there is the Vanguard 500.
I don't think I have any in
It's the best, honestly. It's just incredible. I think it's next to Warren Buffett.
Well, we live in a time now people don't really they take risks.
Do you think
But not
we're
as
going to be
much.
affected? But do you think what do you think I mean, here's another question on the same point, but it's another question. Stating that, what percentage do you think is the real percentage of inflation at the moment? Because they say it's 7%, but leases have gone up 20%.
They don't count everything.
Leases have gone up. Well, there's an adjusted, isn't there?
Right.
There's an adjusted where, so
We're probably teetering on double that at minimum.
14
14 to
I think it's
15%.
higher.
I mean, it may be, but I know it's more than 7.
How much
But
is,
7 is even a big move in this short amount of time, because people don't get 7% raises, each year, and they definitely don't get 15% raises each year. So we're dealing with things being that much higher and making the same money. So it's a strain for everyone, quite frankly. So I don't know, but this is the world we live in.
right? And another financial question.
Hmm?
What do you think is happening to Tesla? Their stock prices, dropped. What do you think the feeling is?
Well, my honest opinion, unfounded, uneducated, just a conversation, right?
Well,
Since you
we know
asked.
that. You don't have to tell us.
Right.
We actually know that. So you're okay.
So here I am. Tesla has competition now. The electric car is not just a Tesla thing now. Everybody's getting in on this thing. Ford's in on it. They've been pushing out.
Well, there's a new one coming out called Lucid.
Lucid. It's already out. The stock's out on it.
I know it is. I've got some.
Ford's out on it. GM's are in on it. Everybody's kind of getting in. It's not something that they can keep to themselves anymore. The Tesla was a cool deal because it was like, oh man, this has got you a Tesla. But now the common folk can buy an electric car and get involved in it. So I don't know. It's he'd have to do something different. I think, in my opinion.
I was watching some videos of Elon Musk. Okay, I think Elon Musk is a genius. I really do. I think he's a genius, and he's into so many different things now. But here's the but with this: is I think he needs to stop being so damn political, fighting at everybody. Because I'm getting to the point where I'm not liking him
Personally,
on a personal. I love his products,
yeah.
and I own very, very few of his stocks because they're all so expensive.
Expensive, right?
But the truth of the matter is, I mean, he's so opinionated about different things at the moment. But I think he's on a completely different level when you talk about the boring SpaceX.
Right.
things like that. But and the innovation that he's bringing to even Tesla, he's about to release a new type of battery for his Tesla cars, which will completely change the landscape. So on a Tesla car and a charge, Tesla will go first. And he reckons that in another 5-6 years, completely more. Now he's building his own batteries.
He's going to have to do something like that because, man, I mean, he kind of held that space as the forefront of electric cars.
Do you know the most
for so long?
Do you know the most common car?
He has competitors.
Do you know the most common car in China?
Electric.
The most common make. Okay, the most common.
Oh, you mean the brand?
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't.
Tesla.
Right, but now guess who's competing with him? China's competing with him now, because you get the car and you figure out, okay, how can we make it better? How can we make it cheaper? So everyone can get on board.
Do you know the most? Last year in Norway, all right, it literally shut up for Tesla cars because now he's making them in Germany. So he's got a mega plant in Germany. He's got a mega plant in China making the Tesla, and he's obviously got one in Austin. He's building one in Austin, isn't he?
Oh yeah, he's already there.
Right.
But the competition is
which
they're on his heels.
Which they reckon will reduce the cost of the cars.
It has to. It has to. Competition
the
changes.
Model Y is coming out.
It changes when you have someone else that's doing the same thing.
And
it changes it.
The other part is, how do you feel, James, about you wake up in Houston one morning, you think, you know what, I want to go to LA. So I know you're a gas thing, but you jump into your Tesla. It self-drives you all the way from Houston, say San Francisco. You just sit and fall asleep or whatever you want to do. How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I'm not there yet. I don't trust it. My GPS has run me into a freaking alley before. It's like, wait a minute. There's a building here, bro. What's the deal? I'm not doing it, man. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I ignore my GPS many times because it thinks it knows, and I just get past it.
I like the idea of that person.
The idea sounds great, but I don't trust it.
Because being epileptic, I never know where I'm going to start clicking and twitching. But
that's different. A cross country trip like that, here to McDonald's, probably, yeah, that'll work. Maybe even here to my house, possibly. And the crazy thing about it, right? I do the same thing. I fly all the time, and it's essentially the idea is the same because I don't know the pilot. I'm hoping that they vetted him and he knows what he's doing. I mean, the plane is pretty much flying itself, but I've heard stories of these cars crashing and people dying, and I'm sorry, man, can't do it. What happened? Well, I was asleep, and because I don't think they invented the cars that way for you to go to sleep in them while it drives.
My biggest worry is people abuse it. Like the other day, somebody was driving it was on. He was drinking alcohol, and then people go around and start freaking out.
So it's completely.
What's your guys' feeling? What is your guys' feeling on automated cars? No, it's not. But they're reckoning 2 to 3 years. They reckon that.
I've heard so.
Yeah.
But the numbers don't. Not with the numbers.
I don't care what the numbers say. I ain't getting in it and driving across the country.
I'm definitely gonna have people try it out first, and I'll back and watch
And watch it. Exactly.
And maybe I'll get.
They reckon that the numbers are actually like 1 in 100 accident.
That's still too much for me.
Oh,
That's 1 in 100.
Insurance rates. They reckon it'll drop insurance rates.
You think so?
They're saying.
I don't know.
Maybe it'll improve in the next 2 years, but for right now, no, I'm not getting inside of an automated car that drives itself. Honestly, I think during that safety period, I am.
If I could afford
There's
a
going to
Tesla,
be
I'd get
a
one at the moment.
massive.
Don't get me wrong.
Car.
I'm not against the car. I'm just not gonna allow it to just drive me. I mean, I'll drive it. And it looks kind of cool. Big gigantic iPad in the middle with all the controls and all. It looks cool. I'll drive it. But
I mean, it's very basic.
I'm
really,
not going to just let it drive me.
minimalistic.
I have to drive the car. I'm sorry.
If I had the money, I'd possibly buy one. My age, I'm not in them.
But if it was given to you, you drive it. Well, you had an electric car
I did,
already.
and I enjoyed it. It really was. It was interesting to sort of watch people moan, But I mean, quite honestly,
That little tiny thing.
but what was nice about it was you didn't have to stop at a gas station, right? So you haven't got that to put up with, right? You could just drive your destination. It was. I mean, there was benefits to it. There's no oil changes.
Right. Why'd you get rid of it?
Because my kid, when he went to his school, they all made fun of him.
Really? Oh my word.
Yeah, I had two of them. And both of the kids who went to that's what you get when you send your kids to a private school. They're bullied because their fathers are all working for the oil industry.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's Texas.
Well, I will say this. I was at Costco on Monday, and it kind of threw me off because I don't know that I've ever seen it, but I know they do take gas. There was a lady behind me in a Prius, and she was getting gas. It was early too. I was like, maybe she didn't charge last night.
It's a hybrid.
Who knows? It is a hybrid.
Yeah.
It is. I understand, but I don't really see many Prius folks getting gas at the gas station.
That's after
she was there.
That's after Jeff Dunham was made fun of because his wife bought him a blue Toyota Prius.
Prius.
Yeah. Yeah.
However,
Anyway, so next point.
Shoot, what else?
Scientists have possibly cured HIV in a woman for the first time.
Well,
Why is it a woman gets the attention?
I don't know. That ain't on this list. Where you at? I think it was in the links though.
Scientists have possibly cured HIV in a woman for the first time.
So here's my first question, right? So we all know that HIV is a virus. Viruses typically they don't have a cure. There's typically vaccines for them, but if she had HIV and no longer does, did they classify HIV as a virus if it can be cured now? Possible.
Kind of like a magic jar.
Yeah, because that dude he got AIDS 400 years ago, and he looks regular. But now, but the money is in the medicine, not in the cure. So it kind of lets me believe that if this is true, that 4 years ago that she got this, and she's off the medication completely. Hey, I need to find out who made this stuff. Was it Pfizer, Moderna, AstraZeneca? So I can I already have some all of those, but I need to get in the stock. Steve, who makes it? Do we know? If we can find out. 'Cause the idea is that she's been on this medication, and then since being on it, she's experienced no symptoms, and she's not even taking the meds anymore. So it sounds pretty cool. It sounds pretty promising, because there was a time when HIV, man, was a death sentence. And once you get it and you're notified, it's a death sentence. So now it is not. So it's the meds.
Doesn't say who made.
They're not gonna tell us.
One of the things which makes me very weary, I think I've told you this before, of research that's done in the US is it's all financed by, the drug companies.
And Bill Gates.
If there's any bad stuff about a particular drug, they're not going to.
Of course not.
I've come off statins and my doctor's horrified.
Really? Why?
Yeah. Because I think statins have side effects.
No. Why is he horrified?
Because they reckon if you've got high cholesterol, you need to be on statins.
But your diet's completely changed, though.
It has. So why do I need to?
Well,
and that's why I came off myself.
Right.
That my doctor was horrified that I've come off it, and I think it's a money grab.
It is money grab.
One of the biggest drugs that makes billions and trillions of dollars in America is it Lipitor, Orvastatin?
Yep, that's cholesterol.
And they even changed the levels of cholesterol at one point. So 60% of the population got over cholesterol. Well, I've changed mine and gone onto the old keto diet, and I'm doing intermittent fasting as well, and I've lost 30 pounds. But I mean, the truth of the matter is, I feel so much better since I've come off all these drugs. When I had my one multi-seizure event, actually a year last April, I left with 17 drugs.
Oh wow!
They did all these tests, and it's like, well, the drug is also causing problems. Why not go to the true problem? Just eat healthy.
That's true.
And since then, life's been a lot more easier, to be perfectly honest. I mean, you've got so much more health.
Well, we know that it's definitely money. I mean, these med companies, they keep it. It's a money grab. So,
and a well-known person that I know, I'm not saying who it is, but works for a university here in Houston. And it's interesting because when they do the science paper, then it's sponsored by drug companies, and the colleges and the universities go out there specifically trying to get this money to do this research for these people. And the second thing down on the research paper, it says who it's sponsored by. This is why I think we got into such a really bad situation in the 70s and the 80s when they said, oh, cholesterol's your problem, fat's your problem. And, well, not all fats are good for you, but do you know what? My mother, who lived till she was 92, she was eating fats.
But they're not all bad for you either. There's healthy fats.
Right. And that's the point. It's the carbs and the sugars that's the problem. Sugar's the problem at the moment.
Because they put it in everything.
Yeah. And then, of course, you've got the processed foods and everything else.
Well, sugar it's there, of course, but
sugar's a drug.
We do a lot of corn syrup here as well.
But sugar's a drug. It actually has the same. It's addictive. You come off sugar, you end up getting headaches. Sugar's addictive. And and as Americans, you like taking it. You really do. What is it? 8 tablespoonfuls of sugar in a can of Coke.
Is it that much? That's why I don't drink them often at parties. Maybe.
Yeah. And I missed it at first when I made the change and I stopped doing carbs, and I really miss bread. But, but basically, I came off the carbs and I stopped the sugar. It was pretty difficult at first. It wasn't easy. But the difference on how you feel when you get over that, and the more energy that you have. I doing a keto diet for no other reason that apparently was the first type of treatment for epilepsy back in 19. I was doing some research. Well, it's worthwhile trying it rather than take all these drugs that I'm taking.
Right.
And it's costing you a fortune. Since I've done it, I've actually come off some of the drugs.
Oh, good, man. 31 pounds looks good on you.
Yeah, I want to get down to 185 though.
Oh, okay. You going to get back on the skates or what?
No.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Not with 2 knee replacements.
Don't do it. Well, shoot, man. I think that is what we covered today. Went through it. Pretty good. Good conversation. I think we hit everything on the list.
How about Virgin Galactic stock jumps 32%?
Oh yeah, we did miss that. So that's that. What's his name?
Richard Branson.
Richard Branson they're starting to open those tickets to go up to space now, and I think it's like $450,000 to go, but you have to put down.
When you say up to space, what do? They just take you up 300 miles from
I
the
guess,
Earth,
man.
fly you around a couple of times.
That's out of my tax bracket, so there's no way I would do that. But nevertheless, $150,000 to basically reserve your seat, to do that. But people are buying them.
You can't do a GoFundMe.
We could try.
Let's do it today.
You set it up, man. I'll share it.
I'll go do a GoFundMe.
So we can go to space. We can take the Olympian table to space. It's only a low price, starting at $450,000
If you actually
for
started
one
this
seat.
GoFundMe, remember to bring me. I would love to go into space. Just don't hog tie me to the top of the rocket.
This
I mean, I had a mother that would threaten to actually hog
Can you
tie me to
imagine
the
that?
roof
You've
of a
got
truck.
first class, you've got, and then you've got economy class.
If I pay
I wanna
$450,
know-
it
I
better
wanna
all
know-
be first class.
Hey, how much is the economy class ticket? Well, it's in a capsule on the wing.
We're gonna duct tape you to the wing. It'll be okay. As we exit the atmosphere, it'll be a little burning sensation, but it'll be okay.
Well, I always wanted a tan,
like, come
so
on,
that
man.
works for me.
Yeah, so it's.
I wonder what the flight consists of, though. It's a single seat, as the company revealed last year, with 3 different sales offerings. For much of the last decade, the company has had 600 reservations for tickets for future flights, and those tickets sold largely between 200,000 and 250,000 each.
So they're actually selling them.
Yeah.
With that $150,000 deposit, of which I think $25,000 is non-refundable. So you put the deposit down. If you go, great. If you don't, you'll get your $125 back. So they're making money either way if you try to book it. So it's open to the public if you guys want to go to space.
I wonder if that's a good investment. 150 grand down,
Really?
and then sell it.
Really?
You know, maybe in the future sell it
You wonder if
because the
it's-
prices go up.
Is this
Well-
the way to save for?
There you go.
Man, listen, Richard Branson is making
Oh,
a ton on
he's a
this
smart
deal.
dude.
he's
He
making a
was
ton on this deal. So I don't know.
He made his
It's-
first company out of a garage.
It's one of those things where
Off the
I'll just
raw.
have to hear about it. So
All right then.
All
Guess
right.
That wraps us up, I guess.
yeah, man, I think that's everything for today. We of course are here next week, same time, 10 o'clock for the Olympian Table. If you're looking to get into real estate, mortgage, refinance, purchase, buy, sell, rent,
Invest.
all of that good stuff, just join us. Our information is down in the description. We're here to share all this information. Of course, joining a wonderful team here at the Olympians. Reach out to Steve. He can help you out and kind of
Yeah,
put you in the right
we
direction.
want to make everybody laugh.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We enjoy it. So thank you guys for joining us. Please share this information. Subscribe to the channel so your notifications are on once we actually go live. And we appreciate you tuning in each week with us.
So have a good week, guys.
Bye.